Welcome to Boat Training Online. I'm Shawn Pollard, and I'd like to start this video out with an apology. When I first started videos, I did a video called Read, Write, Return, Wrong. And at the time, I didn't know. I was ignorant to the reach of YouTube. And my intent was to correct what I was seeing going on in my backyard. And basically, I didn't think that, I wasn't thinking globally. And I've had about every inch of my backside ripped off and pointed out that we have two different systems in the world, IOLA A and B. And the United States is under B, but during the Revolutionary War, we switched the buoys to have the British go up to run aground and so on, and we never switched it back. So in true US fashion, we're doing everything wrong, according to the rest of the world. So it was not my intent to give anybody any bad information or to mislead anybody. The whole reason I'm doing this channel is so that people boat safely. I want them to understand what's going on, and I want them to do it safely. So I apologize if I gave anybody any bad information. It completely was not my intent, and I've learned something in the process. So thank you for watching. Thank you. Most of the comments have been pretty decent. I've gotten ripped up pretty hard on a couple other ones, but I got thick skin. I can take it. So today I want to show you. I want to kind of give you a little background. We had a rate in the Coast Guard called quartermaster, and they merged with bosun mate, which, you know, everybody's got an opinion. I think it was a mistake. Those guys did a great job. Their primary function was as navigators for the boat, and they did a fantastic job. Just don't tell them I said that. But we would have a nav brief if we were going to go into areas that we'd never been in before. The quartermasters and usually the junior officers would do this elaborate presentation, and they just tore it apart. And before we got to where we were at, we knew exactly what we were going to encounter. And I have taken that with me through life. And I want to show you how I do it. I don't want to take responsibility for you navigating your boat or safe passage for you. I just want to show you how I do it and how I was taught. And maybe there's a pearl or two that you can steal from this. That's what I'm hoping. So let's do it. I picked a body of water called Woods Hole Pass. It's a pretty treacherous area. There's a lot of rocks and a lot of current. It's so bad that Towboat US sets on one side and Seatow sets on the other. And they know that usually we have boats hit that at least once a week, if not more. So it's not a good body of water. And I think a lot of it is because people don't do their due diligence. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get with it. Whenever I'm going to sit down, I try and figure out what the designer of the channel is trying to get me to do. Buoys, which I understand I'm pronouncing wrong, but this is the way I say it. Buoys were intended for you to have safe water. They mark hazards. They mark where you should navigate your boat. So we take a non-stressful situation. We're at our living room table or we're at the dock in front of our chart plotter, no stress, and we figure out what this designer is trying to have us do. So let's get after it. Woods Hole Pass, I'm going to start. There are 4 channels, and some could argue that there are 5 or 6 channels. I'm going to go with 4, and we'll see how it. The main channel is Woods Hole Great Harbor. It's home to the Massachusetts Steamship Authority, who transports in the neighborhood of 3 million people a year back and forth to Martha's Vineyard. We're talking big ships. We're talking ships that can hold up to 3,000 passengers. They also have freight boats that take propane and gasoline and all this other stuff back and forth. This is a very, very busy channel. It's also home to NOAA. And they have research vessels coming in and out of there all the time. Also, Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute is housed there. Bob Ballard, who found the Titanic and the Bismarck, he was there for quite a while. So those ships are in and out, and there's a pretty good sized fishing fleet there. Needless to say, my point is that this is a deep water, wide, easy channel, but it's got some traffic in it. So let's pick that out. Let's find all the buoys. So what I do is we have the channel always starts returning from sea, from sea and moves inward. So we have 1 and 2 down here. Then 4 alpha, 5, and then we have 6, and we have 6 alpha up on the jetty, 8 and 9. That's all the buoys for this channel that moves 3 million people. Let's connect the dots. On the red side, we're coming down here, we're going down, boom, boom. On the green side, we're coming down. They want you to stay in this area. So, what I do with no stress is I plot my course. I like to make my turns 90 degrees on a buoy. That way I have a visual reference out my window on when to make my turn. Then I come up and boom. I'm in Great Harbor, Woods Hole. That's the main channel. It makes sense, it's easy. Now we have 2 other channels, Woods Hole Pass. And this is where everybody runs aground. This is where all the heartache happens. Let's do the same thing. Again, we're returning from sea, so the buoys start out. This is 1 and 2. If you have navionics, I don't think that 1 alpha and 2 alpha are on that. I have tried to get a hold of navionics, and I've tried for 3 hours and no human beings. I did call Boston Coast Guard, and they said they did everything they were supposed to do, and on the other platforms, they're on there. So anyway, 1 alpha, 2 alpha, and then 3 is a tripod. 4 and 4 alpha is 4 alpha is the buoy, and number 4 is a day board. And then we come right on down. 5. We got 6, 8, 10. Those are all red. And then out here is 11 and 13. Let's connect the dots. Let's do the red side. We're coming down just like this. And then the green side comes down. If you're going to transit Woods Hole Pass and you don't have a lot of experience, the straight is the way to go. It's laid out like an airport runway. You can see all the buoys. This is the straight also. This is part of the chart. This is called the branch, and that's where some people can say that this is another channel, but the numbers are all correspond with the straight. So this is where they want you to come in. They want you to come in like this. If I were going to do my course line, I'd start out here, 90 to this buoy, come down. I'm going to take this buoy here. There, that becomes a gate. And now at this end, There's a tripod with an orange and white day board and a flashing light to tell you where the center of the strait is. So now we come down, boom, and that's the end of the channel. The upside to the strait is, it looks like an airport runway. You're going through a picket fence, if you will. But more importantly, the current is either going to be on your stern or on your bow. And there is current in there except for a half an hour on each end of the tide. So, me personally, if you ask my opinion, I'd rather have it on my stern or on my bow. This is easy. Plus you have a visual reference of where the center is. The only part I don't like about the going into the Great Harbor Channel is you have to do a 90 in here. And I've seen tug and barges do it. I've seen pretty good sized ships do it. Not that big of a deal, but you are doing a 90-degree turn either to the right or to the left in that traffic. The ferries aren't there all the time, but that's you're going into that traffic, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's the strait. That's the primary or the preferred channel, which is a lead-in to a secondary channel. Or if you have a preferred channel, you're going to have a preferred channel buoy someplace, and that's right here. Let me switch it up here. This buoy right here is SB. It's for the strait and it's for Broadway. A preferred channel buoy is a buoy that marks the primary channel or the preferred channel. And in this case, it's a green buoy, but it has a red band on it. Preferred channel buoys are always lettered because they're a dual purpose buoy. They can't be numbered. They're both green and red. When you're using the strait, it's green. If you're going to go down Broadway, it becomes a red buoy. It's lined up with all the red buoys. Let's do that. So there's a buoy here, a buoy here. These are the buoys for Broadway. And if I was going to do my track line, I would run it just like this. And I would merge. You have to understand kind of the rules of the road here is, this is the primary channel or the preferred channel. So when you're coming in here, you're really not supposed to interfere with traffic in here. But that goes right out the window, man. People are going through there 100 miles an hour. They're waking each other out. It can actually be a mess. But that's the way it's supposed to work. I don't know where the origins of Broadway, the name, came from, but I can surmise that you're turning your vessel broadside to current. The current all goes like this, or it goes back this way. You're going to encounter broadside current except for a half an hour on either end of the tide, no matter when you go in here. And it's not a big deal if you know it and you're comfortable working in tide. If you're a sailboat and you don't have enough power to overcome that that current, then you might want to think about going down the strait. I've seen a lot of sailboats have trouble in here, so give that some consideration. Let me end this area here with this. I consider this the triangle of death. Stay out of this triangle. The red ledge is down here. Not good. Stay out of there. If you find yourself inside that triangle, again, you're not going to if you've laid down your track lines and you've done your homework, your due diligence. If you've done all of this, you're going to stay out of this triangle. But I'm telling you, not good things are waiting for you inside this triangle. And you'll see a lot of locals in there fishing, and I think that throws people off. They think that there's water in there, but there's big ass rocks in there. I'm here to tell you. Okay, so that's that. Now let's do another channel. This is called Nobska. this is Nobska Lighthouse, but the channel, or the buoys, again, returning from sea. This is a gate. This is your buoy. If I were going to plot this out, which I do, I go right to there. Now, here's where the fly gets in the ointment. We have definitely laid down where every buoy is for each channel. There is no rule that says that you can't use buoys from another channel. But man, you better know you're using you're using a buoy from a different channel. I would come over here from this buoy and use 5. 5 belongs to here, but I would go right up through Broadway, and I use 5 all the time. But I know that 5 belongs to this channel, not this channel. Okay? Where you get in trouble is if you don't know that a buoy is in one channel or the other, and you use it and you take it down the wrong side, you've just smoked yourself. So, get that 30,000 foot view of what's going on here, and then plot your courses accordingly. And you can use, I like when I come this direction, these buoys all line up pretty nice. If I want to hug this red side a little bit, they all line up real nice. I've got red buoys everywhere. And at nighttime, Nobska light out here, that's beautiful. I mean, that light is rotating, and I'm coming from here. I've got a good visual reference. I got this red flashing here, and I've got the lighthouse. So you can use buoys or lighthouses or day boards, whatever, from different channels. But please understand, you need to know what they belong to when you do it. All right, anything else? Anything, again, in the first video, I wanted to, or my intent was for you to be able, if you're in system A, B, or the United States, where we're doing it wrong, you can take a chart and look at what the designer is trying to get you to do, and then plot your courses accordingly. And you can do it all over the world, and you don't even have to speak their language. You just look and see where the good water is, and then plot courses. I'm going to end this with a little bit of a sea story. I always did this, and while I was on the sheriff's boat, we had a huge area, and I didn't get to this one area, and we had a mayday, and we had to respond. It was at night, and I hadn't laid down my track lines, and people's lives were on the other end. And I am just, it roughs me up to think about it, because it was an incredibly stressful situation. I'm trying to figure out where the buoys are. I'm trying to figure out how to get through this channel. And I know people could be dying on the other end, and I didn't need to do that to myself. Had I just taken the time and laid down some track lines, figured out where the channel was, I could have ripped right through that area, know that I was in safe water, because I'd already done my due diligence. And again, that just brought home the fact that you need to do what I'm talking about. And even you, if you're not responding, I've seen people hit these rocks and their boating season is over. It's done. I saw a guy from South America, and he said, "This is my home. This is where we live." And it's really, it's worth it to take the few minutes out and do this stuff. Some people, they don't ever go back to boating again because it's a traumatic experience. I watched a $850,000 boat get towed. So I'm serious. I apologize if I confused anybody on the first video. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I'm getting a lot of views, and I love you guys for it. I'm trying to get back to everybody as much as I can, but I'm still working 50 hours a week. trying to shoot videos and answer these comments. But please throw them out there, because I think other people are learning from them too. All right, man, I love you, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you.